All right, happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. This is Liam on the line. Let's get into things. I believe, have Brady Arens joining us later. We got the Monday night game, Eagles, Chiefs. That's going to be interesting. Let's dive into this week's action. We had a good Thursday night game, too. We finally got through that stretch of dog shit, awful primetime games, and Goodell gave us a good weekend of prime time. Starting with the Thursday game, the fucking the Bengals. I thought were going to show up, and then what do you know? Joe Burrow gets hurt, and things are looking a little dicey again. The Ravens come out on top, 34-20. Do you think that this game would have been any different had Joe Burrow finished, or what is your takeaway from this game? Because I think the Ravens, like I said, pretty much every week, I think they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, of course it would have been different if Joey B was playing. I mean, that changes the whole game. But you still got to respect the Ravens for putting up 34 points in their defense. As you can see below, it is write-off season. And I've got the official Lamb on the line. Can't see it, but list of teams that I think we should write off this week. We'll see if you agree with the first one. It's the Bengals. With Joey B out for the rest of the year, that division is too stacked. The AFC is too stacked. I just don't see a way the Bengals get to the playoffs now with what's his fucking name? Jake Browning? Who are we talking about?
I'm not writing up. I'm not writing them off. No, because they're 5-5. They could realistically get to the playoffs still. Jake Browning was a Heisman. He was finished sixth in the Heisman 1 year. I think that was back probably 2016, 2017. I think it's 2017. He was finished sixth in the Heisman. He took Washington to a college football playoff appearance. They faced Alabama, and he's been in the league for a couple of years now. I don't think he has the moxie that Joe Burrow does, but I think he knows the system well, and he's kind of the same player. Had a long career in college, very smart guy. I got high praise for Jake Browning, so I'm not going to write him off.
So I'm going to start keeping track of the Lamb on the line write-off list. So I will officially move Bengals over to Russell's Lamb on the line write-off list and keep him off of ours. Okay. But I just think that locker room is going to be in such a shit mood. Joey B out again for a long period. The rest of the season, yeah, their schedule's not great or that tough going forward. I don't see a way they make it back in that division.
The odds are stacked against them for sure, but I'm not going to write them off yet. I'm not going to write them off. Yes, their odds go down, but I mean, you got Dorian Thompson-Robinson still in that division, and you got Kenny Pickett in that division. I don't think Jake Browning is going to have such a hard time, but we'll see.
Do you want to answer Evan's comment there?
I mean, yeah, he'll get here when he gets here.
But yes, of course he's late.
Right. So we'll see what happens with the Bengals. That division is going to be tight, and now, yes, it looks a lot easier for the Ravens moving forward in the AFC North with Dorian Thompson-Robinson in there now playing. Sean Watson's out for the year, and now Joe Burrow out for the year too. So it's down to Lamar Jackson and Kenny Pickett, and one rookie and a guy who hardly ever played, Jake Browning. So the AFC North.
Yeah, that reminds me, Sheets. We have also a Lamb on the line write-in list. Not off, write-in. Right now, I've written down Ravens AFC North winners. What you just said, or can we leave that on the Lamb on the line list?
No, I don't think so. We might disagree on all these here, because the Steelers could still win it. You still got Mike Tomlin as their head coach. And I like Kenny Pickett, so I would say no. I still think they will, but it's not. We're not writing him in yet. I mean,
those quarterbacks are terrible.
Lamar Jackson could go down, man. I'm not going to call the division already.
All right, I put him on the Russ only list then. That's fine. I've got 4 write-ins. We'll see throughout the show if you agree with them or not.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to be another one. That was it.
We'll get. They'll come up as we go.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So that was a good Thursday night game. The Ravens moved to 8-3. The Bengals now 5-5. They're right in the mix. There's a bunch of teams right around that same record, 4 wins, 5 wins, even 6 wins, that are trying to get those last couple spots in the playoffs. And didn't correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say the Bengals? Didn't you write them in as a shoe-in for the playoffs not too long ago? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was before we started keeping track, pen to paper. So
Oh,
that one doesn't count against me. But
all right.
I did say I like that was all per Joe Burrow being healthy, of course. But yes,
Oh,
you are correct.
okay. Well, you didn't write that. Okay. All right. Moving on. Moving on to the Sunday games here. The Cowboys and the Cardinals, or excuse me, the Cowboys and the Panthers at noon. The first thing that just popped up. So that was the first game we're gonna go with. We don't have to talk much about this. It was a shit stomping. The Cowboys 33 winners 33-10. There was what's his name? Bland for the Cowboys had the NFL record with his fourth pick six. And I mean, the Panthers are just awful. I say this every week. Bryce Young, not very good start to the year. He also has no weapons. I mean, he throws to Adam Thielen, and after that, there's nobody else. Some guy named Steven Sullivan had 1 catch. All right. Laviska Shenault, I know him. He had 2 catches, but he's like not good. Then he's throwing to running backs. We literally has no receivers. And I said this before the deadline. I'm like, dude, I know they're not usually when you go to the deadline and you get somebody, you're buyers for the playoffs, but you're so bad, you just might need to buy somebody now for a receiver. And they didn't do it. They didn't get any better. So they just have no shot. They're probably going to be picking first again next year. And then the Cowboys, I want to ask you about this one because they had a bad loss to the Eagles a couple weeks ago. Well, not a bad loss, but a game they should have probably won. But outside of that, they've won 4 of the last 5. I think they look very good. What says you?
So the people that have been tuning in every week know my stance on the Cowboys. You new listeners, Evan, of course the Cowboys win this game. If they're playing a dog shit team, then they pound them like they always do. And then when they come to play a good team, well, we'll find out here, I think, next week. But we talked about the ACT. They just put their name on it. They haven't answered any questions, and they still haven't answered a question by beating the shit Panthers 33-10. We won't even find out next week because they play the Commanders. So they are going to make the playoffs. Like I said, they're not consistent enough to make it to the Super Bowl, and they choke way too often, like our friend Beck's Bills. So to me, they're not on the right in or right off list. They're a good team. They're going to keep pounding these shit teams, but we'll see what they do when they play the Eagles in 3 weeks.
So, I mean, you're not impressed with 4 wins the last 5 weeks?
Over the Panthers, Giants, Rams, and Chargers, it's sort of impressive. I guess I don't care who you play in the NFL. You win 4 out of 5 games. That's sure. I'll give you that. That's impressive. Those opponents, they didn't make me a believer yet.
All right. Moving on with our games here. This was a good game, Sheets. I like this one. Browns 13, Steelers 10. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, his first start without or after Deshaun Watson. I thought that was a little interesting because what's his name? PJ Walker, I think, had 2 wins for them. 1 win, 2 wins for them. And now he looked awful in those wins, but he still got him 2 wins. So I was like, they're going to go back to PJ. And but no, they went back to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who started a game earlier in the year. Deshaun was out for like 1 week, a concussion or something. He started. He looked bad. I think they got whooped. So I was a little surprised they got the start again. But they pull off a win over Kenny Pickett at home, 13-10. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson kind of had a little drive there at the end for the game-winning field goal. So I like the Browns. I think that was another team you said had no shot, and now here they are at 7-3. So what do you think about the Browns?
Whoa.
I thought you said. I mean, I'm asking what you said. I thought you said they. I thought you were going to write them off. Didn't you write them off?
No, I don't think I did. Well, maybe who knows? Maybe Funk will go back check the tapes. I don't know. But the Browns, even with DTR, that defense at home is fucking nasty. Myles Garrett's nasty. They're going to be a tough team to beat in Cleveland. You got to be ecstatic about that. That kind of gives them a little head above the Steelers in the division. If you're a Steelers fan, I know it's a tough divisional game going in there, but you got Kenny Pickett playing DTR, and your offense just can't do anything. Their backup, DTR, threw the ball 43 times, and you come out of there with a loss. So where do you at with the Steelers, man? I debated for a second, but they're not on any list. But what's their future?
They need some more weapons for Kenny Pickett. I mean, George Pickens is. I like George Pickens. He's good.
He's good.
But outside, I mean, they have some good they have good backs, okay backs. But I mean, like receiver wise, outside of George Pickens, I mean, who's he really throwing to? He's throwing. I mean, what's his name? The good tight end, but he's getting older. And you have Jalen Warren in the backfield who had a big run. He had a big touchdown run, but he's just got really nobody to throw to. I'm a Kenny's Pickett supporter. People like to shit on him, but it's just like what get the guy some help so far. I mean, he was close to getting to the playoffs last year. He's at 6 wins right now, and he still hasn't. He's never had a good receiver really. I mean, George Pickens is good. He hasn't had a great receiver. I mean, Joe Burrow was surrounded with great receivers like early on in his career. Kenny Pickett hasn't really been surrounded with that yet, so we'll see. They're kind of like the Browns. Very good defense, offense, a little shaky, but it translates to wins. We'll see. I think the Browns are a little better. I mean, they proved it this week. Jim Schwartz, I said this. I like to talk about Jim Schwartz every chance I can when we do our show because he's my favorite defensive coordinator in the league. I think he needs another shot at a coaching job in the NFL.
I would agree. Here, I got something for you, though, Sheets. If you would have told us this next week's game was going to be a big game in August, we'd have told you you're dumb as shit. We got the Browns at the Broncos, two very hot teams next week. It's a 3:00 game, so it's not a noon or a prime, but that's gonna be an exciting game to watch. I'm eager to see that result.
I am too. Even if it's not a primetime game, if it's 3:00, maybe it's it'd be CBS. So maybe we get a Jim Nance, Tony Romo call. I don't know. I'll have to look at the announcer schedule. I mean, so even if it's a 3:00 game, it still could get some eyes. Even a couple weeks ago, Sheets, you said that the Broncos. I'm excited to watch the Broncos game this week. They could make some noise. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And we'll get to the game in a little bit, but they're making some noise. What were we gonna say?
They're on the. I didn't even put this on the Lamb Online one because I knew you wouldn't go for it, but I did. The Broncos. I'm writing them off in my own. I don't think they have a chance in that stacked AFC. I know they're hot and I know they can win, but they're not going to win the division. I think there's 3 other wild card teams that are going to beat them out for sure.
Did we write them off? We both might have actually written them off.
We might have. Again, that was before the track stat keeper.
Right. Moving on with the games here. We got the Lions and Bears. And this was kind of a barn burner, 31-26 final score. Jared Goff, I thought, I'm a big Jared Goff guy. I didn't think he played his best game. I thought he was better games. He was a little shaky. And but I took the Bears to cover. I took them +8. I really thought that they would put up a fight, especially with the return of Justin Fields. But they blew that game, man. That was a win for them. Now, I don't know what Bears fans' stances are right now, if they want to get wins or not. But that was embarrassing. And I try to give Justin Fields some cred because I do think he is better than what people think he is. But then again, the defense kind of blew it away too, but he just can't find a way to win games. I don't really know if that's 100% on him, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the Bears are going to Bears. They Bearsed again. And I don't know.
I don't think it's much of a Justin Fields thing. I think it's just a Chicago Bears. I think they built a culture that it's like they're just fucked from the beginning. So I'd like to see him elsewhere, to be honest, next year. But the Lions are sitting there 8-2. Do they have like the same feel as like a Chiefs 8-2 or like a Patriots back in the day 8-2 or Rams 8? Like, do I just have this mental block in my head about like how good they are and I just can't believe it, or are they like those other teams?
What do you think?
I don't know. I tend to lean towards no, they're the fucking Lions, like an 8-2, maybe a little fluky. But you watch them and their offense is good, their defense sucks. But I don't know. I would tend to lean towards not as dominant as those other 8-2 teams in the past.
I think they're right up there. They are very athletic on both sides of the ball. They might have the best athletes, period, of any team in the NFL. Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl before. I've been on a Goff, even and during his low periods of his career. I've been on him. I'm glad they stuck with him. He's been with their starter for 3 years now, maybe 4 years, and people are like, this is the Lions. They're stupid for getting Goff, and now look where he's at. I think he's a top 3 quarterback, top 4, top 5 quarterback in the league right now. And I think they are right up there with those other 8-2 teams. Now, the thing that can scare me is they're the Detroit Lions. They have never done anything successful in the postseason since 1963. So we'll see what happens come playoff time. But on paper, that's a good team. They have a lot of weapons on the offense. Like I said, Jared Goff has really revived his career. I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback when it's all said and done. And the defense, yeah, they are a little shaky, but I think they can play better. I think they can play better than they have in recent weeks. That Chiefs game at the beginning of the year was kind of a defensive game. I mean, they can show up when it matters. So I would put them up there with those teams. The thing that scares me is they just don't have any experience, not only going to the playoffs, but just historically ever doing anything at all. So I don't know. We'll see.
What are you, as far as you make this point with Bryce Young a lot, it's look at what happens when you surround these quarterbacks with talent. I mean, Jared Goff has Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Hawkinson. Look at Kirk Cousins and the Vikings over the past couple of years. Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson now. Same with like Miami and Tua. Like that, these guys are going to learn. You're right. You got to go out and surround these people with weapons. Bryce Young has no chance. C.J. Stroud's making it happen somehow, but these other quarterbacks that aren't producing, maybe they just don't have the talent. I don't know. I think you might be onto something.
Well, it's just like with Bryce Young, it's like, let's go get this guy as much help as we can right away. Like if you have a young quarterback and he's gonna learn week to week and he's gonna go through bumps, surround him with as much help as we can right away while he's going through this growing period. Don't have him throw to a bunch of no-namers and what's his name? Adam Thielen. Like get this guy. So, I mean, I'm not saying go fucking go, you have to go out on the streets and fucking spend all your money on a receiver, but go get somebody. Like at the deadline, they should have gotten somebody, done something. They didn't do anything. That franchise sucks. Their closest shot of success, they lost to the Broncos, and they've been dog shit ever since. And they just hired one of the worst coaches I've ever seen in the professional football, Frank Reich. So, and now they're 1-9. So I don't know why we're even talking about them again, but let's go to the next game here on the noon slate. Cruising along here. It seemed like this week's games were kind of a letdown from last week, but that's okay because it is Thanksgiving week. We even got a game on Friday this week, so I was okay with that. The Packers over the Chargers. Let's get to this one. I forgot this was a noon game. Otherwise, we would start. So let's hear it. I was on the Packers. This was a must win. Otherwise, the season was over. I mean, it was just done. So what do you say? What do you think about the Packers?
It was most definitely a must win. We had to have this one at home if we wanted any chance of making the playoffs this year. I told you last week, I'm very back and forth, but I'm back. We're back. I think we're on something here. This Thanksgiving is going to show a lot. If we beat the Lions, we are no doubt back in Detroit on Thanksgiving. 11:30 kick, by the way. Did they always do that? Is it always 11:30 on Thanksgiving?
The Thanksgiving, yes. The Lions Thanksgiving game is 11:30.
Gotcha. So that's going to be a massive game. Then the Chiefs after that. So these next 2 weeks are pretty – I mean, you got to split. You cannot go 0-2 against the Lions and Chiefs. Otherwise, we're back to where we were last week. So I'm confident we can win one of those games, either one, to be honest. And Jordan Love, look, what is your thoughts on Jordan Love before I give mine?
I was really high on him going into the season. I thought he was going to play good. From what I thought he was going to be, he's been underwhelming. But I don't think it's time to give up on him yet. This team there's not a lot around him either, and that's been the case since Rodgers was there. They just lucky they had him all those years. I mean, they were going damn near. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship games with pretty similar rosters to what they have.
I don't know about that.
They were a little better, yes. But I mean, like for skill guys, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, Devontae Adams, yes. But after Devontae Adams left, I mean, the skill guys have just been sparse since then. The best guy you've had has been Alan Lazard, who doesn't hardly do anything for the Jets.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that today. I'm in the car. I'm like, we do need some more receivers. I do believe Christian Watson will be a good receiver one day. He's on and off the field, though. Jaden Reed's kind of showing a little bit of sparks here and there, but we do need somebody else. Ever since we left, we've always had somebody: Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, and then all of a sudden we found ourselves in this spot with no receivers. But I don't know. I'm optimistic. Like I said, we got to split these next 2 weeks. We cannot go 0-2.
Do you think you will?
No, we will not go 0-2.
You're not going. So you're going to win one of the two.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Well, I'll write that down for 2 weeks from now. We'll come back to it.
Okay. Well, you better. So I don't think. I mean, this is the first. There's been a couple years where like the Lions are good with Matt Stafford. But this is the first like Thanksgiving Lions game that has mattered.
Yeah.
This is the biggest Thanksgiving. It's the best team I've ever seen play on Thanksgiving in my lifetime, is what I'm trying to say for the Lions. So I don't think the script is going to give you a win this week. I think you will cover 7.5. That's what this line is. Give me the Packers cover that easily. But I don't think
that's a lot of points.
I don't know. It is a lot of points. I hope you beat the Chiefs. It'd be fun. I don't think you're going to beat the Lions this week, but I'll get on the bandwagon. I think you'll beat the Chiefs in 2 weeks.
It's hard to beat a team twice in the NFL. It's tough to do.
It is. I know. Excuse me. It just seems like on Thanksgiving, after all these years, people were like at the point where it's like, can we just end the Lions on Thanksgiving game? Can we end it? It's awful. And what do you know? Now the hottest thing in the league.
That's why I love the NFL. The Lions were the most dog shit teams growing up for both of us, and now here we are. So that are really good 8-2 team.
Right, and all because of Dan Campbell.
Yes,
we're gonna bite a kneecap off each week. Moving on with our noon games here, the Texans got another win. Man, they just keep trucking along. You know, I remember going back to this was months ago. This was back in September. We're like, the Texans have 2 wins. They're off to a good start. Yeah. If they finish with 3 or 4, like, you know, and now they're 6-4. Man, are they gonna make the playoffs?
Oh man, I don't know because that. Let's see. They've got the Jags next week. That's a tough game. That game means a lot. Then the Broncos and Jets and Titans again. Yeah, there's a decent chance they do. I mean, what do they got? They probably got to win 10 games right now to get in the AFC wild card, the last spot, maybe 9.
10 would. If you have 10 wins, you should be feeling comfortable. I think 9 wins, you're sweating it big time.
Yeah, so they've got 6 already. So they just need 4 wins out of. Yeah, I think they probably are going to be a playoff team.
Really, I think they're gonna choke. But we'll see. I mean, they're 6-4.
I kind of hope they do. They're kind of a fun team.
Oh, you hope the playoffs?
Yeah, I kind of hope they. I want to see C.J. Stroud in the playoffs. See what he does.
Oh, I was gonna say no. I was gonna say I hope they choke. I'm excited to see them choke.
Well, they're kind of your interdivision rivals, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're really cut out for the playoffs. I mean, I'll give them credit. The 6 wins is more than I thought they would have. But we'll see what they're made of. This is, when you get to Thanksgiving week, you're separating the men from the boys. So 6 wins is good now, but are you going to get to the finish line?
Are the Colts going to finish ahead of them in the division?
We'll see. I'd like to think so.
All right.
We'll see. As you see, we're the bye week champs. We won last week, or we won 2 weeks ago. And so if you win and then you go into a bye week, after that bye week, you're still winners because that win carries over to the bye week. So we've won 2 weeks in a row now, and we'll see. It's kind of like I said. It's November is Minshew mania. This is gonna be our last a crack at it, I believe. Maybe is there 2 games left in November? No, this will be the last one. So
Last
this
one.
has been a fun Minshew mania. I hope to go 3-0, and I think we will. So I think we'll finish ahead of the Texans. I think they're gonna hit a big wall here. I'm
All
looking
right.
forward. I'm looking
I'm
forward
on
to
the
it.
other side of that for the record.
On the other side for the Cardinals, Kyler Murray's back now. He got a win 2 weeks ago. What do you think ends up with that situation? And I mean, the season is shot there. They're not going to go to the playoffs. Obviously, they have two wins and 8 losses. But do you keep him? What do you do? Do you try to shop him at the end of the year?
I think, and I said it a couple weeks. He's playing. He's essentially playing for a starting job in Arizona the rest of the year, whether he wants it or not. If he plays well, I think they're going to end up re-signing him. If he doesn't, then they won't. So I think it all kind of depends on how he plays down the stretch, which is a weird kind of gray area because if you're a Cardinals fan or the GM, you maybe want them to keep losing to get the #1 pick, but I don't know. I think it's all going to depend on the rest of the season. So far, right now, yes, they'll keep him.
I just am not a huge Kyler Murray guy. Now I think he got into the playoffs a couple of years ago, 2021, maybe 2020. But they stunk last year, and they stink again this year. He's been hurt. He's had salary issues. I mean, I don't know. I don't even think he's that good.
He's
So
overpaid.
I mean, that's every quarterback now, but he is big time.
Well, who's more overpaid, Josh Allen or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray. Josh Allen's gotten you close to the promised land. Kyler Murray hasn't done anything.
Fair.
Moving along here, we got the Jags and the Titans. I thought the Titans were going to put up a little bit of a fight, and they got their ass kicked. It was embarrassing for the Titans, and it's been a season, a constant season. Every week's been like a constant embarrassment for them, but they like found a way to just trump it up again because I really thought they were going to play close, and then they just get trounced, 34-14. The thing is, though, about the Titans is Will Levis, I think, is good. He threw 2 touchdowns, no picks, 13-17, and they're still, I watched a little bit of that game. You can still tell they're still trying to keep him in check. They don't want him to do a whole lot, but the defense and that's supposed to be a defensive team. The defense just got torched. I mean, T-Law 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then on the ground, it was pretty much by the committee. It wasn't really one guy, but on the ground, the Jags put up 130 yards on the ground. Calvin Ridley went over 100 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdowns. So the Jags, I mean, you still don't think they're that good, but they keep winning and they kind of keep kicking people's ass when they win. So what do you think?
Yeah, this is similar to the Cowboys win. It's like I think the Titans are shitty. Please love it. We can write them off, right? They're not making the playoffs.
We can write the Titans off. I'll give you that one. They are done.
So they're not a good team. This doesn't feel anything like a normal Mike Vrabel team, like that's resilient and kind of fights their way back to 500. I think they're shot. They're done. So no, I mean it's again impressive. Okay, you won 34-14, but who do they got next week? Oh, the Texans. That'll be a good game. But no, I still don't think they're Super Bowl contenders.
You don't think they're Super Bowl contenders?
No.
So I asked you this with the Cowboys. I'll ask you again with the Jags. They did lose to the Niners pretty bad 2 weeks ago. But outside of that, they are winners of their last 6 of 7, I believe. 5 of 6.
When you have a schedule like this, that's easy to do. I think there's a lot of teams, 10 teams in the NFL that could do that with that schedule.
I'm just saying. As winners of the last 6 of 7. Last 7 weeks are 6-1.
Listen, I'll give them their credit. So that's tough to do, 6-1 in 7 games. But the Jags, they've answered some questions. on the ACT, but they've not finished it yet. And I think by the time they finish it, they're not going to like their score.
We'll see. I'm impressed with what the Jacks have been doing. They just keep rolling off wins, man. 6 of the last 7. Give me it any day of the week. The AFC South is a tough division, and they're just handling their own business.
So you think? Hold up. You think are they up there with like the Chiefs and the Ravens? Like you think they can win multiple games against teams like that in the playoff and the Super Bowl?
I do. When you get a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who has won a Heisman Trophy, who has won a national championship, when you get a head coach like Doug Peterson, who has won a Super Bowl, good things can happen. This team looks good. Calvin Ridley is back. Great storylines, and no one's giving them the respect. Rodney Dangerfield ain't getting no respect.
They haven't earned mine yet. We'll see.
You're one of the haters. Moving along here. Dolphins over the Raiders 20-13, but this was a close game. I took the Raiders spread. I thought they were going to keep it close. I think the Dolphins are favored by 14.5, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, that's a joke. Give me the Raiders. And they put up a valiant fight. Jalen Ramsey, I mean, this guy's a game changer. They're glad to have him back. 3 turnovers forced for the Dolphins. What are the Raiders doing starting Aiden O'Connell? What's wrong with Jimmy? I know Jimmy G didn't look good, but let's be honest with ourselves. You got Josh Jacobs, great running back. You have Devontae Adams, Hall of Fame receiver. You have Jacoby Myers, good receiver. Mayer's a good tight end. Renfro's a good receiver. Why are you not starting your best quarterback? Why are you starting Aiden O'Connell? This guy was a Purdue product, and he's no Drew Brees.
I'm with you on this. Even though I've been down on Jimmy G, still am, but he's better than Aiden O'Connell. He gives the Raiders the best chance to win the game over Connell. This is an interesting one because I know you're not going to agree with it, but I wrote them off last week, so I'll ask again. They have the Chiefs next week. They're going to be sitting at 5-7 in the AFC. Are we putting them on our list or is he just on mine?
Let me look. Because they're 5-6, so not on the list right now. 5-6 doesn't put you out of it. Listeners, they're still on the hunt. Cheats, they could win 3 games and be 8-6, and we'd be looking like big fools.
Here's my Cheats. This is better than the hunt. The Lamb on the Line write-off list gives you better information than the hunt. We see it before they do. I think the Raiders are dead, but you don't. The Chiefs next week at 5-7 in the AFC. That's such a stacked division.
They're trending that way, but we don't. We'll see. They're 5-6 right now. We can't look ahead. This is today. This is the church of what's happening right now. Right now they're 5-6, and if they rattle off 3 wins in a row, which they could do, we're gonna be looking like a bunch of fools in front of the audience. I'm not putting them on the write-off list.
On mine, not ours. Not ours. I'll bet you they're not.
They could be that way, but right now, on Thanksgiving episode, I'm not doing it.
Dolphins are good.
Okay, well, I was going to ask you because they didn't look super good. I mean, they defensively look good. The offense wasn't there this week, but the offense is usually there every week. So I'm not super concerned about a close win of the Raiders.
I'm not either. They're still a good team. They haven't beat a good team, but they are a good team. Is there a chance like McDaniels is just kind of like keeping some plays for like the playoffs since he knows he's going to be there? He doesn't want to. The sense of he doesn't want to show it, the NFL everything they've got.
Possibly, I feel like that guy is. He's like the Coach Klein of the NFL. That's a reference to the Water Boy, where he's just drawing shit up all the time. And unless Coach Red Fox, whatever his name was, Red whatever, comes in and steals it from him, he should be good. So I would think he's going to bust out some stuff in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they're showing everything they've got right now, so I'm not worried about the offense. I think they're a good team. They've got the Jets next week. That'll be interesting to see what they do against the Jets defense in New York. But I still like them to win that division.
And we got some news today. So I think my Aaron Rodgers playoff theory might be dead. I think he's going to come back and play. Now they might not be in the playoffs, but he is going to come back and play. So I was in the realm of the right. I was in the right ballpark. I knew he was going to come back and play with a torn Achilles. So I don't consider if they don't make the playoffs, I consider that a true prediction in my case. But either way, they made a decision today to go with the new starter. So what's his name is out, and they are starting. Shit, what's his name? I literally just saw it. Did you see that?
Yes. Damn it.
I literally saw it right before we came
out. It's not Doyle, is it?
Yeah, it's Tim Doyle. They are starting Tim Doyle, who I think was a Minnesota Viking for a while, maybe, or a Packer, right? He's in NFC North, wasn't he?
I think he was a Packer. It was a Packer. Yeah.
Okay. And oh shit. Yeah, he was a Green Bay Packer. I don't think. I mean, I don't know if that makes them any better. Sheets. What are they doing?
Can it get worse? I mean, there's a point where you try something. I mean, if you know Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and play next year, you're probably thinking Zach Wilson's not the answer yet. But the offense can't do shit. So Salah's probably just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just try someone else, see if it is better. It's not going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Tim Doyle, who sucks, could be better because the Coup Hunter is not good. I mean, he's just he's so slow to like read defenses. Just his mechanics aren't there. He can't read what's going on. He gets flustered. It's really bad. I mean, Mac Jones would school him on the quarterback competition. Mac Jones would run laps around Zach Wilson, the Coup Hunter.
So you brought this up, which triggered something else we didn't mention. There's other news. Joe Flacco signed with Cleveland practice squad. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what piece of the puzzle he is.
Right. Joe Flacco is a Hall of Fame quarterback in my eyes, and it's good to see him back for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that's a hell of a storyline career there for Joe Flacco. I think he started with the Ravens, right? I don't think he was anywhere else. Maybe
yeah. The Jets.
He was drafted. Okay.
He started for the Jets for a while.
But that was after, right? I mean, Before, I think he was a Raven from the get-go, I thought. I mean, he's been right. So long. But, I mean, he spent the main bulk of his career at the Ravens. Then he was with the Jets. I think he was a starter for they brought him in as a starter one year, right? Or did he – I know he started due to injury, but I think one year they actually thought he was going to be the guy, right? Didn't they bring him as a starter?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And he wasn't. But still, it's good to see him back in the league. I mean, for quarterbacks, I mean, for people our age, there's not many childhood quarterbacks left. We had Tom Brady. He's gone. Big Ben recently retired. Ryan Fitzpatrick retired. Drew Brees. I mean, Manning. These guys have just been coming and going. We still got Joe Flacco. We still got Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if that's – I mean, that's probably about it, right? Matt Stafford. You got Matt Stafford. And that's about it.
Yeah, so I think so.
In there as long as possible.
I'm all for it. Whether they suck or not, I'd love to. I'd bring Roethlisberger back. Bring fucking Phillip Rivers back. Throw them in these playoff teams that don't need quarterbacks. It'd be awesome to watch. So I kind of hope this happens more, but I'm afraid Joe Flacco is probably the last one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Joe Flacco. I mean, he's barely holding on. And then you got Matt Stafford. You got Aaron Rodgers. And didn't I say another one? I just said another one, right? 3 old quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Stafford. Maybe that's it.
You said 3.
I did say 3. Yeah, either way. Evan Haskins. Which one did I say? There's a third old quarterback. Either way, we're childhood quarterbacks. They used to be of abundance, and now they're running slim. So it's sad to say that we're getting old.
Can you imagine in like 60 years?
Not possible.
In 60 years, are we going to remember all of these quarterbacks or just the memorable ones? Are we going to remember like the fucking Joe Flacco, Matt Stafford, or are we just going to be like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers?
I think we'll remember them all.
Matt Ryan. I don't think that's what he said.
No, who were the old quarterbacks in the NFL? I would have throw them off like it was nobody's business, and I forgot it in 5 seconds. Aaron Rodgers for the Jets, Matt Stafford for the Rams. Who was the third one? Lou said it. Lou said 30 seconds.
Oh man, I can't. It wasn't Jared Goff, was it? No.
Jared Goff's not a childhood quarterback.
No, probably not. I don't know. I can't believe we can't remember that.
I pulled a U. I forgot. All right. Either way, let's move along with the games here. It will come to me eventually. This game we don't need to spend a lot of time on, but the Giants, it is notable because it is the first career win for Tommy DeVito. And they beat the Washington Commanders 31-19. Sam Howell, oh boy, he threw 3 picks to a Giants defense who was not good and has looked awful pretty much every week. So what do you think about the Commanders?
We've gone back and forth on them. They're still on my list. I'm going to ask you again if you want to move it to the Lamb on the Line list. But I have written off the Commanders for this season. I think they're already locked in third in that division. I've said that. It's tough to have 3 teams from one division make the playoffs, so I have them written off. I don't think they're going anywhere this year.
Let's see. They're done. Let's write them off.
Yeah. Yep. They're sitting there at 4 wins, and they got the Cowboys and Eagles in there, and thank you, Evan Haskins.
So so of the active quarterbacks, those are the only 2 old ones. So I thought I was forgetting a third active one. I'm not stupid.
Shout out Galen. He texted us Big Ben as well.
Yes, I know. I was trying to think of another. I thought I said another active old quarterback who's still playing. That's it. It's just Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers, who has a fucking bum Achilles, and also Joe Flacco, who is on the practice squad for the Browns, who just signed off the streets. So the quarterbacks of our era are running out. I mean, Kirk Cousins, maybe. I think
that was the third. Joe Flacco, Rodgers, Stafford.
I didn't say him, but I think he does count. Okay. I think he does count because he was a childhood quarterback. I remember watching Michigan State, and our guest gave us one. I was thinking about starters, but this is a good backup. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's still in the league too.
Yeah, that's true.
So we still got more. We still got a while. I mean, what? It's 20. All the guys we just said, we probably got another 4 years in us. Hopefully, Matt Stafford can play like 4 or 5 more years. So that's probably about it. Kirk Cousins, I guess, a little younger. Kirk Cousins could keep going for a while.
If he has a starting job in Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That guy's got a bum Achilles too. All right. Do we need to say anything else about Giants? Commanders?
No. I love Tommy DeVito, but no.
Tommy DeVito gets his first career win. Moving on here, and I think now these are the 3 o'clock games. We got San Fran and Tampa Bay. Now, I took the Bucs to cover, and they barely did. They held on by the skin of their ass to cover plus 13.5 and a 13-point loss. So I made out well on the Bucs. And for the 49ers, you just want to get a win there. You don't want to slip up to Baker Mayfield. So they get the job done there. Who do they play this week?
It was a backdoor cover, too.
It was a backdoor cover, yeah. The Niners play Thanksgiving against the Seahawks. That's going to be a great game. That's going to be my favorite game of the day on Sunday or on Thanksgiving. Is that one?
There's a small chance I'm at that game this Thursday.
Really? Seattle, San Francisco?
Yep. I'll be in Seattle. We looked at tickets long ago. They're quite expensive, but they've came down. So there's a tiny chance that game time gives me the opportunity to buy a ticket, which would be awesome. I would love to see Brock Purdy play in Seattle, one of the most famous stadiums, I feel like, in home field advantages. So that will be an exciting game either way, whether I have boots on the ground or not.
What are you doing in Seattle?
Bailey's got a sister that lives out there with her fiance, Jack. So we're going to visit them for Thanksgiving.
What day are you leaving?
So I got to convince those three to go too. Thursday, Thanksgiving morning, 5 a.m. flight.
Nice. Well, here's a little convincer. This is going to be the best game of the fucking week. Thanksgiving night, after you eat all your turkey and fucking whatever else, cranberry sauce, you got Thursday Night Football, Seattle Seahawks versus San Francisco 49ers, an NFC West showdown. San Francisco, many people think they're the best team in the league. They're trying to get to the Super Bowl and get it done for once. Seattle, led by one of the best coaches of our lifetime, Pete Carroll, are riding high on a big win. Geno Smith, people thought his career was done. What does he do? Get some playoffs last year. Can he do it again? Was it a fluke? No, they're good again. 7 wins. And you talk about NFL games this week. On a very special week, you got games Thursday, you got games Friday, you got games Sunday. This is a game that I look at as being probably the best of the bunch. And if I was in any luck and was in the Seattle area, I would urge anybody who is even remotely interested to go to this game.
So. I think it's going to be quite the game, but I do want to mention Brock Purdy, the first perfect passer rating since Joe Montana and the 49ers, over 20 attempts. Pretty impressive. That dude is good at football. He's good at quarterback. Where was he on your rankings? Did you make your QB rankings already?
I did. 2 weeks ago, I got a lot of heat. I made the rankings, and people are ripping me because of where I had Brock Purdy. I had him. They're like, "How is Brock Purdy moving up? He's losing games." And I said, "Brock Purdy's good. I've seen this guy play." Okay. And so look at my rankings this week here. I believe I had him pretty high. I had him number 4. Yeah. And last week I had him number 8. And people gave me shit because I had him at number 8. And so, yeah, I was right all along on that one. And, yeah, I had him at number 4 this week.
I look ahead spot. I don't. What's the spread for that game? Because I think the 49ers are going to kill them. 6.5. Take the 49ers minus 6.5. Because stars show out in prime time, and 49ers have a lot of stars. So I think they're going to give them an ass whooping.
Well, let me see what the money is on here.
It's probably on the 49ers.
It is. The money's on the 49ers. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm expecting a Thanksgiving battle. And that's what I want. I want a Thanksgiving battle. And I think I would probably lean San Francisco on the money line, but give me Seattle to keep that thing close. It's at Seattle, like you said, one of the best field advantages.
I'm afraid. I know we all want close games, last second field goals, Hail Mary touchdowns. I'm afraid that the only close game we're going to get on Thanksgiving is the Packers Lions in the morning.
It could be the case. It sucks. The Commanders this year, I mean, really, it's like that's who I know they kind of rotate teams, and it's the Commanders' turn, but it's just like, shit, really?
Can you imagine if this was the Eagles, Cowboys-Eagles Thanksgiving?
I know. Yeah, at least it's the Commanders and not the Giants. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
And the Packers Lions will be good. It'll be good.
As always.
As always. It's not the Green Bay Packers Lions of old. My favorite memory of those two teams playing on Thanksgiving was when Ndamukong Suh stomped on a player, right? Didn't he stomp on somebody?
Yeah, the Ndamukong Suh. Is he still in the league?
I think so. Yeah, for the
Rams. He was last year for sure. I think he is too this year.
For the Rams or no? The Buccaneers?
I would attempt to look it up, but I can't spell his name.
NDA something.
He's on the Eagles. That's right.
I knew he was on a good team.
Well, the Rams aren't good.
Well, they were good. Moving on to the other 3 o'clock games. The Bills took care of business, 32-6, and the offense kind of woke up a little bit. And I know you're saying it's the Jets, but the Jets defense is good. And they whooped them. The Jets defense looked bad. And the Bills offense, I thought, looked very good. So is this a resurgence of sorts? They have a bye week. Can they figure things out?
The Bills have a bye?
All right, it's Thanksgiving week. No, I don't think anybody has a bye week Thanksgiving week. They have a bye week in a couple weeks. 2 weeks after this week. They play the Eagles this week.
I think there's still plus money on the books to make the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs. I think they are. I think they're a good team. I've been the same way. They're just inconsistent as hell. Josh Allen's inconsistent, but play calling's been inconsistent. So good win for the Bills. They needed this to wax the shit out of the Jets. And I think they have a big game next week. I want to say who we got. Eagles in Philadelphia. So that was almost a must win for the Bills, I think.
Yeah, it is. I don't think you're going to get there. I like the Colts' chances of getting to the finish line maybe over the Bills. I think the road to the playoffs is just tough for the Bills right now. I don't think they're going to beat the Eagles next week. I think they might get boat race in that game. I don't think they match up well at all against them.
I know you're a big, it's a script and all that. You really think they're going to have a playoff list? Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. You think they're both going to miss? They're going to do whatever they can to get the Bills in there.
No, I think they want some. I mean, it's just you can't. I know they're perennial teams, but they can't just do the same shtick every year. They like to mix up a little bit. Every once in a while, you're going to get a Blake Bortles going on a big run. So
Shout out Blake Bortles.
They're going to get some new blood in there, and with any luck, it's going to be the Colts. I mean, they're at 5-5 right now. Gardner Minshew mania. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the Bills. It's going to be tough for them to get there.
I think they do, and I will go on the opposite side of that bet. But that's why we're here, to disagree.
If it's not the Colts, I hope it is the Bills, because I like the Bills. There's not many AFC teams that I usually root for, but I find myself rooting for the Bills almost all the time when they play. There's not many times where they've never done anything that's really upset me. I hate the Patriots. I hate every team in that division, including or especially the Titans, especially the Texans. The Jags I've always been okay with, and I like Trevor Lawrence. And I like they're repping the division well, so I don't have really any animosity towards that. But I hate Tennessee. I hate the Patriots. I never really found against the Bills.
I hope the Bills keep winning all the way up until the AFC Championship. I hope they crumble.
You're a Bills hater.
How have you?
Hate the Bills.
You haven't spent enough time with Beck.
I've been around Beck a lot, and I like the Bills. He's a good fan, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying fans like him aren't good fans. All fans are good fans for the most part. But I just don't want the Bills. I couldn't handle it if they won the Super Bowl, and I don't think they can't. They're 0-5 all time. 0-4 there. So
we'll see. This was the 3 o'clock game of the week. The Rams held on, and I was sorry I got that wrong. The Seahawks actually are coming off an out, but they covered the spread. That's what it was. They came back, and I thought we were going to blow the spread. They held on the spread, but did lose. Rams won 17-16, and Matt Stafford came back. They needed him because they had John Wolford, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever he started. I think they had a bye week last week. 2 weeks ago, John Wolford started. He looked like the worst quarterback I've ever seen. So Stafford comes back, gets him a win. You thought they were written off, and I said, well, let's wait a little bit. Now they get a win, but you still think they're write-off territory? Are we going to bring them up to me today, or what?
They did not make my list in the write-offs, so I do think I did say I would like to write him off for last week, but something I must have changed my mind because I think the NFC a little weaker. They could sneak in. I was all over this game actually. I told my good buddy Jack Klingel that the Rams are going to win. It wasn't pretty, but they did get the win, and that's a game probably Seattle really wanted, especially with battling for the division with the 49ers. But neither of these teams are Super Bowl contenders. One of them probably will make the playoffs, but I don't think. You think they can contend? Who?
Possibly Seattle.
I don't know. I don't think they're not going to have home field advantage, so they're going to have to go play on the road. I don't think they can win 2 or 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I think you're right. They probably are not Super Bowl champion contenders. They could maybe get to a Super Bowl.
That's fair. And
if they got to a Super Bowl, who's to say they couldn't win it? Did you freeze, Russell?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I'll go on record saying they're not making the Super Bowl.
Okay. Let's go to the Sunday night game, and then we can bring on our guest, who I believe is, waiting for us. So let's get to the Sunday night game here, and then we'll get into our next segment. So Sunday night game was a showdown down to the wire at the very end. This was, like I said, dude, we finally got through that pitiful stretch of primetime games. And then what do we get? I know it wasn't funnest of games, but we still got a Bengals-Ravens Thursday night. And then we get a Sunday night doozy. Minnesota falls just short, though. 21-20 to the Broncos. And guess what? This is not a 2-game win streak. This is not a 3-game win streak for Denver. This isn't a 4-game win streak for Denver. This is a 5-game winning streak for the Denver Broncos. Sheets, what's going on?
This is a team that we have been wrong about the whole time. At the start of the season, we thought, they're kind of exciting. I think they'll make a comeback. And then they start out the way they did. And then we're like, this team fucking sucks. Write them off, all this. And now they've done this the last 4 or 5 weeks. So whatever we say here, the opposite will happen in the next coming weeks. So for those betting out there, I think they're back. I think Russell Wilson may be back, not to where he was at some point in his career, but he's back to being a good enough quarterback to win games in Denver.
He's been playing good pretty much every week. His numbers are good. I think he's got 18 touchdowns and 4 picks or something like that. He hasn't really been the issue this year for them. I'm gonna charge my laptop. He hasn't really been the issue for them this year. It's been that damn defense, dude. And I don't really, beat ourselves up too much for writing them off. They gave up 70 fucking points to the Dolphins week 3. They were 0-3. They gave up 70 points. I was like, this team's done. I know where this is early in the year, but this is ugly. This is bad. So credit to them. I didn't think there was any. They're going to come back from that.
And their schedule is favorable the rest of the season. I mean, I don't know. They're 5-5. We can't write them off, but we've said it the whole time. I don't know. It's a big game next week. Broncos-Browns. That's both 2 teams that are fighting for second place in their division, and that's big in the AFC picture. So that'll be an exciting game. What do the Vikings do? I mean, I guess they're probably not out of anything yet. Nothing really changes for the Vikings, but Josh Dobbs is good. I think that's important to note. He is a damn good quarterback.
He is. Like I said, I think he'll be the quarterback for the foreseeable future for the Vikings. I don't see them bringing back Kirk Cousins, even if they can't get him at a discount. I would roll with this guy. This was the worst game he has played since joining them. He's played 3 games now, right? Or is it just the 2?
3.
3 games.
Yeah, 3.
He had the miracle one, and then did he start a game last week? Wasn't the miracle game?
Saints. He played the Saints and beat the Saints handily.
This was the worst game of the 3. But I still think he's a good quarterback. and he's just a gamer, and he almost got a win last night. So I still like where the Vikings are at. I think they can still get to the playoffs. Who do they play next week?
They have the Bears, and then the Raiders. So yeah, they're going to be sitting there at 8-5, looking pretty good.
Unless the Raiders rattle off 3 wins in a row, which is why we can't put them on the write-off.
Well, I did. But.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts on the games before we bring in our guest sheets?
No, go ahead and bring our fellow Eagles fan.
I will. Did you have any segments you want me to prepare for too?
No, other than the Lamb on the Line parlay, and I have 2 write-ins, 2 more, but they're both playing tonight.
Okay, sounds good.
So we can get to that.
Let's bring the guest here.
And Dipshit is muted.
Yo, how are you guys doing?
What up, Sheets?
How are we doing?
Good. Nice little podcast so far.
It's great lighting.
Thank you. Just set it up in my room. Sorry if it's too bright.
No, you look good. You look glowing.
I gotta ask, and I'll tell you, I didn't tell you this, Meisner. I texted Brady, and I said, "What's your NFL team?" So I didn't. He had to respond. He said the Eagles, and maybe he's told me that before, and I just didn't know.
It definitely happened.
I forgot. That could very well happen, but I was like, "Wow, is this guy actually an Eagles fan, or did he just hop on the bandwagon last year, or what?" So how are you an Eagles fan, Sheets?
Yeah, I just started last year. Okay. No. When I was younger, I used to play GameCube, and I would only throw Hail Marys, and it worked the best with Donovan McNabb and T.O. So that's how I started liking them.
That's fair. Meisner, I don't know about you, but that is a valid reason if you've been following since you were playing GameCube. I don't care what your reason is.
That's a great reason. People always ask me, like, how are you a Nuggets fan? I'm like, I grew up and I like Carmelo Anthony. And, like, just like this stuff like that. Like, you're a kid, and it's just like you find your team. It doesn't matter where they're located or the history behind it. You find your reason, and you stick with them. So that's a good reason. I like that.
Something you probably didn't know about me. The reason I like the Packers is because at fucking daycare one day, I asked my best friend what team he likes. He says the Packers. So I'm like, all right, I'm a Packers fan, but I've been following them since I was in diapers. So.
Yeah, it's a little different too if you don't have a team for your state. So you kind of have to branch out to find some team to like.
Who's your soccer team?
I don't really have like I don't watch a lot of soccer, but I'd say Newcastle, but that would be a new little, I just started actually liking them last year.
Is that relying on Messi plays?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's like a overseas team, but yeah, anyways.
So you're liking the Eagles tonight. I assume you're an Eagles fan. I believe you think they're going to win. Is that where your head's at?
I think they'll win outright, but I don't think the Chiefs have looked as dominant this year. I mean, they all normally play a lot of close games, and so they never, I would say, blow out a lot of teams. But I think they do definitely have. Maybe it's because they're not in the playoffs, so they're not like all the way locked in like the Chiefs normally are with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know. I definitely don't think they've looked as solid as they have in recent years. And I wouldn't say the Eagles have either, but we're starting to get healthy. I think we have our whole starting offensive line back this game too. So I'm hoping we run the ball early and often on them and wear them out. Sometimes I think we get a little pass heavy with Jalen Hurts.
I think you're right. I think the Eagles are going to try to run the ball a lot tonight.
I would love that. I think with the new offensive coordinator, sometimes they like, oh, we have Jalen Hurts on our team, so we'll let him. But I don't think he's a type of quarterback to throw it 30 times without making a mistake like a lot of the time. But I don't know.
Meisner, where's your head at this game?
Well, I hate the Chiefs. They're my least favorite team in the NFL. I think that whole city is crooked and corrupt and a little unmoral. I mean, you got Andy Reid's son driving around drunk, hitting people. You got Travis Kelce selling his soul all over every commercial, dating pop stars. You get Patrick Mahomes and his annoying family, Jackson Mahomes dancing on Sean Taylor's memorial, doing inappropriate things with women at bars. So I hate that city with a passion. So it sickens me to say that I think they will win tonight. They are at home, and it just seems like the theatrics. The NFL puts on the theatrics for the Chiefs when they're at home on big games, especially in prime time. So unfortunately, I just don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get their fair shake in things tonight. It sucks.
I think I'm going back and forth between two things in my head. The Chiefs seem to lose the big games in the regular season. Like they lost the Bills or Bengals last year in the regular season, the Bills in the regular season before that. One of those I know for sure is in KC. Maybe both have been. And then the other one is Andy Reid's 21-3 off a bye in the regular season. So that's a pretty solid stat. I like the Chiefs, and I think you're right. I think they get them a home win. I'm a little scared because they tend to – and I'm a big Eagles fan, by the way. Not fan, but not like you, Brad. But I think the Eagles are very good. So I'm not going to be surprised either way, but I do think the Chiefs come out here with a win.
I think it'll come down to, like, one mistake. Like, I think whoever wins the turnover battle, and they'll end up winning the game. But no, I mean the Chiefs are always a good solid team to bet on. I just don't think they've looked as dominant this year. But
are you a Taylor Swift guy?
No, I'm not. I don't follow along with all that stuff real close.
You strike me as a guy that grew up listening to Taylor Swift, like in the car with your mom.
I'm not gonna lie, you're spot on for that. Little Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, back in when she did Little Country, but no, I don't. I listen to her music, but I wouldn't say I follow along with all the outside stuff when I was younger.
Do you think she's pretty?
I would say she's cute. I'd say she's cute.
Not to your standard.
No, I would say she's probably right about what I would go for good looking. She's cute, so
it sounds to me like you're a huge Taylor Swift fan and you're just not saying it.
No, I'm not.
I think Brady, I think you're listening to fucking T Swift.
No.
You've been banging Karma all this whole day.
I haven't even heard that song once, I don't think, believe it or not.
So we'll get back to football here for a second. Where the Cowboys, do you hate the Cowboys as like a normal Eagles fan usually does?
I think I definitely do, but I think I also hate them because everyone tries to hype them up every year. They're America's team. And like, I don't know, I feel like everyone should not like the Cowboys just because they're America's team and every year they hype them up that they're going to win the Super Bowl and they never I don't know. I think that stuff gets pretty annoying. Maybe that's just especially because I'm an Eagles fan, so it's probably emphasized, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a huge Cowboys fan at all. Least favorite team in the NFL for me.
So let's get one thing straight off the bat. The Packers are America's team. Secondly, I'm on that train with you. I hate the Cowboys. I know our boy over here, Meisner, is the second favorite team in the NFL, but I think they're way below the Eagles and don't have a shot to win the Super Bowl. Meisner, on the other hand, disagrees.
I mean, I think the Cowboys have a better coach in Mike McCarthy. I like Sirianni. He's a great Philly guy. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes the antics, I think, are a little too much. But I don't really have a lot of animosity towards the Eagles. I'm not the Cowboys aren't my favorite team. They're my casual team. They're my team that I like to I put the games on. I'm going to cheer for them. And I don't lose a lot of sleep over them. I'm not looking at practice and looking at the shit all week. But they're my casual team. So I don't have a huge hatred towards the Eagles.
What about
Go ahead.
What about the Giants? I know your good friend Sammy T is a big Giants fan. Is he an annoying Giants fan, or is he a pretty good? Do you hate the Giants?
No, I don't hate the Giants, but it's also like recently they haven't been super good. So it's like shitting on a bad team that's I don't know. I mean, I love Saquon. Like I feel bad for him having to try out there with the offense he has, but no, I like the I don't mind the Giants. Definitely do not like the Cowboys, and then the Commanders are whatever.
Why do you like Saquon? Because you think he looks good, or what's?
I think he's a good football player, Brandon,
Oh,
and I think he is has good work ethic, getting out there even with Tommy DeVito as his quarterback, or and a terrible offensive weapons. So I think that's why I like him.
are there any? Go ahead, Meisner.
You like the way he looks, then? You like the way Saquon looks?
I don't think he looks bad, if that's what you guys are asking.
Like Taylor Swift, like looks, or
I don't think I've ever said someone was ugly. Just not the type of person I am. I think everyone has something good about them, that they can hang their hat on.
that's very kind of you, Sheets.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We need more people in the world like you.
I agree.
That's your whole like fandom is interesting to me because you were a soccer player, so you spent your whole life playing the other sport on grass, but you're still a big football fan. So that's kind of a common trend. Is that for all soccer players? Do all soccer players have a football team?
I would say a decent amount, but there's quite a few soccer from Wartburg that I know that are way bigger soccer fans than football fans. Like they'll wake up 6 a.m. on Sunday and watch their team play because it's different time zone, and like that's something I don't know if I would always do, and they won't miss it. And so I don't know. I just never really got into watching soccer. I think football is a lot more fun to watch.
I'm the same way with golf. I don't watch golf, so I'm with you there. Do you like another sport more than the NFL, Meisner?
More than the NFL? Yeah, the NFL. Not one of my favorites. It's fun to watch, but I like baseball. I like hockey. I think racing.
You like hockey over the NFL?
I just think you're talking about sports or leagues. I think the NFL is corrupt and dirty, and that's why I like the wholesome, the clean image of the NHL and MLB. Roger Goodell and the fake rigged NFL games. It's not my. I like it. You're on the. So I wouldn't be talking about if I didn't like it, but I just I think there's as a league as a whole that I follow more. I tend to follow ones that are more real.
It's interesting. I didn't know that about you.
I mean, hockey's fun to watch. I don't know about baseball though. I'm not a huge baseball guy.
Cheat says.
No. I'm a Brewers fan, but I'm not. I will not watch baseball until October.
You have on the record though, Sheets. You've said that if you played left field for the Brewers, you guys would probably be playing the World Series, right?
Yeah. Look, there's. We would definitely be a better baseball team. But that's how it works in every sport. There's definitely some quarterbacks that are starting the NFL that I know I can do a better job than. There's not too many guys in the NBA that I'm. Yeah, I probably should be on the bench for one NBA team. But that's just kind of how it is. I don't know how these clowns sneak in these leagues. Tommy DeVito is the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Like what?
I can't. How did they not find you golfing at Wartburg? It's crazy. They didn't find your talent.
No, I don't know how that happens. I guess I probably should have sent some more letters and emails. But you give me Saquon on a football field, and all I got to do is snap, hand it off to him, check it down. I could be Tommy DeVito. You don't think so?
I would just like to know what you bring to a team that you think you could probably be on in every professional sports league, but you're not. So I just like to know IQ.
IQ, yeah.
That's it.
Raw talent, speed, strength, anything really you could think of in that tiny brain of yours. Should we get on to the lamb on the line parlay? Brady, did you come with a leg, I assume?
If that's okay, yeah, I did. I did a little research before while listening.
And you just have one, or do you have one that you're really confident in, or did you throw out a couple, or what are we working with here?
Well, I'm not gonna throw anyone under the bus, but someone told me to only bring one, so I only brought one.
Perfect. Then you must be confident in it. So what do we got?
So I guess I didn't know what book you guys use, if the lines changed or not, but what I liked was Isaiah Pacheco over 16.5 receiving yards.
6.5.
16.5.
16.5.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. They got good corners. So they might have to check it down a little more.
I think they might get a little pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Eagles have a pretty good pass rush, a couple dump offs here and there. I was debating between that or maybe some receptions or his over on receptions, but I went with the receiving yards.
I like the yards. He might not even need a bunch of receptions. He might get one of those suckers and go for 28 yards and they're set.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that one. What do you got, Russell?
That's Miser.
Oh man, I did. I had two in my mind, and they're both related to Pacheco over 16.5. So I'll throw them out there and see what you think. But I liked Noah Gray's over at just 12.5. I feel like he gets like one catch a game. That's good for 20, and then he's done. Or the other one was the other running back over 17.5, DeAndre Swift receiving yards. Which one are you a little more confident in?
What are his yards for Devonta Smith?
Swift. DeAndre Swift over 17.5.
17. I don't know.
I think I like Noah Gray. That's gonna be my leg. Noah Gray over 12.5. I'm getting one reception, maybe two out of him.
You're right. He's the backup? Is there another good tight end they play? They don't play another tight end, do they?
Well, he's almost like a receiver, but he is a tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's back up to Travis Kelce, but
I like that too. Give me a couple of small receiving overs, and then give me Mr. Pfizer tonight for my leg. Give me over 76 yards for Mr. Pfizer man, Travis Kelce.
Really?
My leg.
74.5 on FanDuel.
Oh yeah. I think Mr. Pfizer man goes off tonight and gets 140 receiving yards.
140.
I'm serious.
He's hard to stop.
Brady, you realize all three of our overs are Chiefs players, if that tells you anything about the outcome of the game.
I did realize that, and I realized that when I was picking Pacheco's receiving. I'm hoping Travis Kelce, maybe not anymore, but I was hoping he wouldn't have a game at all because he is. I would just like to see the Eagles try, if we are gonna lose, just shut Travis Kelce down. Make someone else beat us. So that's why I would like to see. I was hoping that they would cover him up and then make Patrick Mahomes throw to one of his receivers that like to drop the ball. So,
quick question before I say the odds of the bet, but that Taylor Swift, that girl, the type of girl that you go for, is she going to be in the building tonight, or is she not attending?
I heard that with some concert cancellation on just so we're clear, not that I keep up with it, but on the Pat McAfee show is how I heard it from Adam Schefter. So I heard she will not be in the building, if that changes anything.
I'm getting a head nod from Bailey over here saying she will be in the building, which makes me like, oh, the parents are meeting. Sorry, that's not what she was saying. The parents are meeting. Does that change do anything? I think that might.
Is Bailey actually over there, or did you know that off the top of your head and you're like, I gotta cover this up and act like?
Nope. She's right there, Sheets.
Okay. I don't know if that changes anything, but
Meisner?
I was gonna say they're doing the Meet the Parents movie where what's his name?
Meet the Fockers.
Well, there's Meet the Parents and there's Meet the Fockers. That's what they're doing tonight. Taylor's got to do the Taylor Swift is on concert. She's fucking on tour in Brazil, Sri Lanka. She's all over the globe. She's not going to be going to a lot of Chiefs games anytime soon. Let me tell you. So they rigged this thing up, and now they're gonna do Meet the Parents with Donna Kelsey and whoever the hell Taylor Swift's parents are.
Yeah, she's all over the place. Hopefully on a date with Brady Arens soon. But we've got Travis Kelce over 74.5, Noah Gray over 12.5 receiving yards, Isaiah Pacheco over 16.5 receiving yards with the FanDuel boost. If you still got it at 30%, we're looking at plus 699. That's a good number. I like that. Yeah. I feel really confident as usual in this parlay, and I think we might get lucky tonight, boys.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think with odds like that, I think we all get lucky on this one here. Brady, thanks for joining us here. It's going to be a great Monday night showdown. Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. No Taylor Swift in the house tonight, but the parents will meet. We will get our report on that next week. It's Thanksgiving. Brady, again, thanks for coming on. Everybody, have a good Thanksgiving weekend. Lay 'em on the line, listeners. Enjoy tonight's game. Enjoy the holidays with your family. We are signing off here. As always, until next time.
Thanks for having me.